In this Photoshop tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use the Lasso tool. So what I'm going to want you to do is to open up two photographs. We are going to select an object from one photograph, in this case the cat here, and place it into another photograph. So you need two photographs for this tutorial. And I want to show you how you can open up two photographs or more in Photoshop at the same time. So you can see I have this one photo open. Now if I want to open another one, I'll go to File, Open, navigate to Downloads or wherever your photo is. Mine is in Downloads, and I'm going to select a photo and open it. And notice it's just tabbed along the top, and I can just click back and forth between the two photographs. Now for fun, I would love you to select a small object like a cat and place it into another photograph and make the small thing look giant. So if I take the cat and put it into my landscape, he's going to look big. Or take something big and make it look tiny, okay? You can do that in any way you want. So I'm going to start by selecting my cat, and I'm going to use the Lasso tool. The Lasso tool is along the toolbar, and it lives with the polygonal lasso tool, which we'll learn in another tutorial, and also magnetic lasso tool, which I think is crazy. I hate, it's my least favorite tool in Photoshop. It just goes crazy every time I try to use it. So I'm not going to show you that tool, but that you need to know that that's where it lives. So I'm clicking and holding, and I'm grabbing the lasso tool. Now the lasso tool works by, you have to draw a shape with it, like a circle with it. So I'm going to click and drag, and you can see a line forming, and then when I let go, it forms a shape, okay? One thing you're going to need to use a lot with this tool is Command D or deselect, okay, to get rid of that. The other thing I want you're going to need to know is, let's say we start off with a shape. This is the default setting right here. This one is Add to Selection. So if I want to make that selection larger, I can click on that tool and notice how I draw another circle and it adds to that selection. See how it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now let's say if I want to get rid of that, this little guy right here is Subtract from Selection. And if I want to subtract from that selection, see how it's taking it away from that selection, okay? So let's do this in real life. I'm going to do a Command D to deselect. I'm going to zoom into the cat so I can see what I'm doing. Whenever you're making a selection in Photoshop, you need to be able to see what you're doing well. So I'm just going to start tracing the outline of the cat. If you want a mouse, if the trackpad is too frustrating for you, ask for one. We can plug a mouse into the laptop. So now I have this shape. Obviously, it's not enough of the cat. I'm going to make sure I'm on the Add to Selection toggle, and now I can just click and drag another shape, adding to that selection. See how my selection is now getting larger? Now fur is really tricky, and we're going to actually learn later how to deal with fur better than I'm dealing with it now, because I've just got this sort of smooth edge, and obviously the fur is a little bit more specific than just this big shape, but it's what I'm going to use for now. Now I have an idea where I want my cat to sort of be coming out, hiding behind the horizon line, so I actually don't need all of the cat. So I'm going to just sort of stop here. Notice, see in the center here, that means I have a piece that is missing. If I were to copy and paste this now, I wouldn't have that little piece. So make sure you're getting all the pieces of your object. Okay, and when I'm imagining probably half of my cat kind of coming over the horizon line, so that's probably going to be enough. Now if I were to make a mistake and I went into the wall or something, remember I can go back here to subtract from that selection, and I draw the shape around when I want to subtract, okay? So now that I have the selection I want, I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, or oops, I'm going to do a Command Z as a mistake. Not cut, Edit, Copy, or Command C. Go over to my photo and do a Command V, which is a paste. And I'm going to move my cat over here. Now that just looks funny. He's just floating, right? I want to erase the part of the foreground so that he looks like he's just sort of like coming above that horizon line. I wonder if he'd be better over here. Actually, he kind of looks like he's sitting, doesn't he? Anyway, so I need to erase him, but I can't really see through him to get to the right place on that, that mountain. So I'm going to go to my background layer. I'm going to click on the lock to unlock it, and I'm going to temporarily bring the opacity down, okay? So I can, you know what, so I can have the background transparent. I actually realized, I think I want the cat transparent temporarily so I can see through the cat. So now I see part of the cat that I need to erase. So I'm going to go to the eraser tool, make sure I'm on the cat layer, and erase. I'm going to make the brush a little bit larger by clicking on the right bracket key, and I'm erasing all the cat part that's in front of this big little island that was at the beach. Okay, so I'm getting rid of all that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because when I'm done with this and I bring the opacity back up to 100%, it looks like the cat is now giant, sort of sitting on the back of that island or part of that island. Okay, so now you're going to choose two photographs, one object that is small that you're going to place into another photo to make it look giant like I've done here, or maybe you take something very tiny like a quarter and put it in something big here in a landscape to make it look giant, or the other way around, taking maybe a person and making the person tiny and putting it into a little scene. So just sort of playing with scale. Either way, have fun. Make sure you use the lasso tool.